Imagine a city so powerful it gave the world its calendar, its laws, its alphabet, and its idea of what civilization could even be. Now imagine it beginning as 8 crude huts on a hillside above a fever-ridden swamp. This is not a story about power. It's a story about what happens when one idea outgrows the world that created it. And this is the story no one told you. In the beginning, there was nothing remarkable about this place. A cluster of Latin villages in central Italy, surrounded by more powerful neighbors, Etruscans to the north, Greek colonies to the south. By any reasonable measure, these people should have stayed anonymous. But legend gave them something more dangerous than geography. It gave them a story about themselves. They were, they believed, descended from a god, raised by a wolf, destined to rule. Whether or not you believe the myth is beside the point. The people who believed it acted like it was true, and that made all the difference. What distinguished early Rome was not wealth, not numbers, and not genius. It was an almost irrational refusal to accept defeat. Lose a battle, rebuild. Lose a war, reorganize. Lose an entire army to Hannibal of Carthage, the greatest general the ancient world had ever seen, in not one but 2 catastrophic engagements, and still refuse to surrender. The Romans looked at every loss as engineering data. What broke? Fix it. What failed? Replace it. What worked? Multiply it. This was not a culture. This was a system. But systems, no matter how perfect, still depend on the people running them. And around the year 49 BC, one man decided he was no longer willing to share. Julius Caesar stood at the edge of everything. To cross this river with his army was treason. It meant civil war. It meant the end of the republic that had stood for 5 centuries. He knew all of this. He crossed anyway. The question is, why? And what came next changed the world forever. Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon didn't just end the Roman Republic. It began something the ancient world had no name for yet. An empire run by one man with the full loyalty of the greatest military machine in human history. His adopted son, Augustus, was smarter. Where Caesar seized power violently, Augustus made the seizure look like a gift. He called himself not emperor, but first citizen. He preserved the appearance of the republic while quietly holding every lever of real power. Under him, Rome reached its fullest potential. At its peak, 1 in 4 people alive on Earth lived inside Roman borders. Roads connected Scotland to Syria. The same coins changed hands in London and Alexandria. For 2 centuries, the Mediterranean world experienced something it had never known and would not know again for over 1,000 years: peace. But every system has a ceiling, and Rome's ceiling was built into its foundation. By 476 AD, there was no one left to sit on the throne. An empire that had governed a quarter of humanity, gone. Roads still there, aqueducts still standing, laws still written in Roman hands. The question historians have debated for 15 centuries is this: did Rome fall, or did it simply transform into something the world wasn't ready to recognize yet? Stay with me. The answer might surprise you. Rome never truly ended. It dissolved into the world it had already built. The Catholic Church carried its structure. European law carried its principles. Romance languages, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, Romanian, carry its voice every time someone speaks them. You are living inside Rome's legacy right now. From 8 mud huts on a fever-ridden hillside to the architecture of the modern world. If you want to understand where civilization came from, you've already found the answer. And if you want to know what came after Rome, what empire rose from its ruins and carried that torch for another 1,000 years, drop a comment below and tell me, which civilization should we reconstruct next? History by Mix Zahra. Subscribed? Good, because what comes next is even older and even stranger than Rome.